All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about an absolutely epic story from the book of First Kings, a story that follows a kingdom at the very height of its power, and the one man who led it to both incredible glory and, ultimately, to ruin. So, what happens when the wisest man in the world makes the ultimate mistake? And believe me, this isn't just some dusty old story. It's a timeless question about power, about wisdom, and about the fatal flaws that can bring the whole thing crashing down. You'd think a story like this would start with a show of incredible strength, right? Well, nope. It actually kicks off with weakness. The great King David is old, he's fading, and this vulnerability creates a perfect storm for a bitter power struggle over who will take the throne. So, with the king basically out of the picture, a power vacuum opens up. And who steps in? His ambitious son, Adonijah. This guy doesn't wait for an invitation. He gathers his allies, throws a big party, and starts acting like the crown is already on his head. But hold on, not so fast, Adonijah. There's a countermove. The prophet Nathan and Solomon's own mother Bathsheba go straight to David. They orchestrate this brilliant political play. David makes it official, and boom, Solomon is the new king. And let me tell you, Solomon doesn't waste a second. He immediately cleans house, getting rid of any and all rivals to secure his power. Okay, so the political drama's over, the throne is secure. And what follows? An era of unbelievable peace and prosperity. We're talking about the honest-to-goodness golden age for the kingdom. So early on, God comes to Solomon in a dream and basically gives him a blank check. Ask for whatever you want. And what does Solomon ask for? Not money, not a long life, not victory over his enemies. No, he asks for wisdom, just wisdom, to be a good ruler for his people. How incredible is that? And God is so pleased with this, right? It's such a selfless request. So he says, you got it. I'm giving you wisdom like no one's ever had. But then he's like, and you know what? Since you didn't ask for all that other stuff, I'm going to give it to you anyway. So Solomon gets the whole package: wisdom, riches, and honor. And we see this wisdom in action almost immediately in this famous story. You've probably heard it. 2 women, 1 baby, both claiming it's theirs. It's an impossible situation. So what does Solomon do? He says, fine, cut the baby in half. It's a crazy, brilliant bluff that instantly reveals the true mother. I mean, the whole country was just in awe of him after that. All right, so Solomon becomes this massive builder. He undertakes these huge, monumental projects. The most famous, of course, is the magnificent temple to God. But, and this is where it gets interesting, look at the timeline. The temple took 7 years. His own palace, that took 13 years, nearly double the time. Just something to keep in the back of your mind. So, under Solomon, Israel is at the absolute peak of its power. I mean, wealth, fame, it's the stuff of legends. You have world leaders like the Queen of Sheba traveling across the known world just to see it for themselves. But, and it's a huge but, it's right here, at the very height of his success, that the seeds of his own downfall are planted. Yeah, this is where the story takes a tragic turn. And it all goes back to him breaking the very rules that got him to the top in the first place. So, for all his wisdom, Solomon had a weakness. He loved many, many foreign women. And look at these numbers. We're not talking about a few. We're talking about 700 wives, many of them princesses, and 300 concubines. 1,000 women. Now, sure, these were political alliances, but they came with a spiritual price tag that was just incredibly steep. And this is really the heart of the problem, right here. You can see the direct contrast. On one side, you have God's very clear warning. Don't do this. They will turn your heart away. And on the other side, the reality. Solomon did it anyway. And guess what happened? Exactly what was predicted. His wives turned his heart to other gods. So it wasn't just a private thing. He started building public altars to their gods. Gods like Chemosh and Moloch. This was a total betrayal. And it, of course, triggered a divine judgment. God tells him, the kingdom you built, it's going to be torn apart. But in a final act of mercy for his father David, the punishment won't happen in his lifetime. It's going to fall on his son. So after a long 40-year reign, Solomon dies. He passes this kingdom, which is now basically a ticking time bomb, onto his son Rehoboam. And the stage is set for that prophecy to come true. So Rehoboam is king, and the people come to him with a pretty reasonable request. Hey, your dad's taxes were really heavy. Can you lighten the load a little? And this is his first big test.
He's got two options on the table: the wise, experienced advice from the elders, or the macho, arrogant advice from his buddies. And what does he do? He completely ignores the elders and goes with his friends. He chooses the path of pure arrogance, basically telling the people, "You thought my dad was tough. You ain't seen nothing yet." And that unbelievably foolish reply was the spark that lit the fuse. It led to an immediate, catastrophic rebellion. Just like that, God's prophecy against Solomon's house came true. The nation splits right down the middle. And this is their cry of rebellion. 10 of the 12 tribes just walk away. They completely reject the line of David, and the United Kingdom is shattered, literally forever. So what comes next? Is it another golden age? Not even close. What follows is a dark, messy era of civil war, corruption, and just rampant idol worship in these two new, separate kingdoms. And the new king up in the north, Jeroboam, he knows he has a problem. If his people go back to Jerusalem to worship, their loyalty might shift back. So what does he do? He sets up his own brand new religion, complete with golden calves to worship. A total break from their past. But into all this chaos, this spiritual and political mess, a new kind of power starts to rise: the prophet. You get these incredible figures like Elijah, who become the nation's conscience. They aren't afraid of anyone. They walk right up to corrupt kings like Ahab and speak truth directly to power. And that leaves us with this final, powerful question. When a nation's leaders completely fail, who rises to speak truth to power? This story shows that when the official systems become corrupt, new voices, often from the outside, will emerge to challenge them. And man, that's a pattern we have seen play out again and again and again, all throughout history.